everybody's doing really well today. I'm here to do the coloring year wrap-up tag. So this is a tag that I started last year, and it's very heavily based on my mid-year coloring freakout tag, which is very based on the booktube like tags that they do about the books that you read halfway through the year, as well as books that you read during the whole year. But I really enjoyed doing the mid-year tag because it's just really nice to check in, and then that's why I also created this tag last year to also kind of see the overview for the whole year. I just think it's so interesting. I really enjoy putting like my answers together, and then also I'm nosy. I love seeing everybody else's answers. So if you would like to do this tag, please consider yourself tagged. All of the questions are below. I will also link all of the materials and books that I talk about down below. And then without further ado, we can get started. The first question is, what is your favorite picture or pictures that you've colored during the year 2022? And of course, I couldn't pick one. I had to pick multiple, which was also true of the tag that I did last year. I also picked multiple pictures last year. But one of the pictures is in Color Morphia by Kirby Rosanis. This is my only book by him, just because I do still find his artwork quite intimidating because it's so beautiful and detailed. But still, every time I work in here, I really enjoy the process, and I also love the finished product. I can finish, if I can locate it. There we go. So it is obviously a 2-page spread. I took quite some time to finish this, but I love the finished product. Like, I am actually proud of this image, which I don't say very often, but I do really love the finished look. So the horse, the flowers, basically everything but the background is a combination of Prismacolor pencils as well as Brute Funner colored pencils. The background is a water-based black marker. I am terrible at backgrounds. I don't enjoy doing backgrounds. So whenever I have the option of just blacking out the background, I will pick that option. So that's what I did here, but I feel like it goes well and contrasts the roses and the horse quite well. I think there's some touches of gel pen somewhere. Oh yeah, like a little bit in the necklace here. Again, I don't know how well they'll show up. I think there's also a little bit on this necklace. We'll see if that actually shows up. But for the most part, it's just pencils, and I really like the finished look. I had found a color palette online that had this like burnt orange and this like purpley pink, and I just liked how that looked, so I kind of went with it. I didn't specifically stick to the color palette. I've definitely ventured out a bit. I think it was a different shade of green, but overall, I'm very proud of this picture. So this is the second time I had worked in this book, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the other picture I did in here was in this tag last year, because I really like that picture. It's this one. So this is from 2021, and I'm pretty sure it was in the tag that I did last year. So aside from that, my other favorite pictures of the year are in Lady Spring. And this book is amazing. It is a little bit difficult to get your hands on it. I got mine off of Etsy, but you can buy it on Etsy from the artists in this book, like directly from them, which I think is fabulous. So I did 2 images in here this year, and I love them both. So the first image I'm going to talk about is this one. Is called Nature is Queen, and it's by Karolina Kubikowska. It was my first ever image by her, and now I am absolutely obsessed with her artwork. I joined her Patreon. I follow her on Instagram now. She's just fabulous. And the main reason that I love this picture so much is that I just so greatly enjoyed the process of coloring it. It just, I don't know, it was inspiring. I just really enjoyed working with water-based markers in here, and then layering pencils on top. I used a lot of the colors in the Crayola, was it like Colors of the World or something like that? It's like a pack of 24 markers that has various colors that you can use for skin tones. So most of this image was actually done using those markers. So the browns, like the shirt, the little animals, the flowers, her skin color, her hair, even these mushrooms, like the basis was done in those markers. So I just had so much fun, and now I'm a huge fan. I want to own anything by her and everything. Love it. So that's kind of my little rant about how much I loved this image. And then the next picture, actually this was the second picture that I did. The first picture I did in this book was this one. And it's called Tempting Aromas, and it is by Isabella Quich. We'll just say Isabella because I am gonna 100% butcher her last name. So I did this image and I really enjoyed the process. Again, I'm saying that for all of these images, but I had a blast. So I was trying to work with this image because it is grayscaled. So you could see her artwork has a grayscale to it. So that was my first time working with colored pencils on a grayscaled image. So there's no markers here. This is all, well, sorry, there's the marker in the background. As I said, I'm a big fan of just blacking out the background, whoopsies. But like the flowers, the character, everything else is just pencils. You'll see there's nothing on the back. So this was my first time trying to kind of make pencils work with grayscale, and again, enjoyed it. Huge fan. I did also glitter the wings. I used stickles. I used stickles for this little ladybug up here. And this was just so much fun. Again, this book, I mean, also, first of all, has exposed me to artists who I've never worked with their artwork before. So for that alone, I think this book is amazing. Again, it is a little bit difficult to get your hands on, but it's not impossible, and I would highly recommend it. To me, this is like a collector's item, and I will continue to love, enjoy, and treasure this book. Can't say enough good things about Lady Spring and all of the amazing, amazing artists that have collaborated to put this book together. And then the second question is, what is your most used coloring supply of the year? And as I've kind of, been mentioning what I've been using, Brute Funners, definitely, definitely my most used supply of the year. So when I moved from Germany back here to the US, I actually donated my set of Brute Funners because I didn't have a lot of space in my suitcase. And, they're not exactly light, and I did have a big set of them. So I just donated them, and I figured I would just pick up a new set once I got here, which is exactly what I did. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to grab the box. I picked up the 80 pencil set of the Brute Funners. Comes in this lovely little box. I love these pencils, so I'm considering getting a pencil case, but we will see. So yeah, they're wonderful. These are the circular, spherical ones, whatever you want to call it, because I know some folks have the square ones. The ones that I had in Germany were also the circular ones, and now I just got them again because you honestly cannot go wrong with Brute Funners. Like, I feel like the bang for the buck is amazing. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen, gosh, now I can't, I'm gonna do that later. I'm trying to think if I've seen a negative review on them from any of the videos that I've watched, and I don't think I have. I don't know. I really enjoy them. If you don't like them, that is completely fine as well, but I have to say I do enjoy using them. And because I love those pencils so much, and because I'm an excessive human, I needed the macaroon, however you want to pronounce it, set. So it's basically like a pastel set of Brute Funners as well. So I picked these up. I've never owned them before, so I didn't have these in Germany. And whether or not I can actually open this box is a question. All right, now we're back in business. I got the box open. So they look like this. And they're stunning. They're also spherical. They just have amazing shades. I want to do a picture just using these pencils. I think it will be beautiful. I'm a complete sucker for a good pastel. So really excited for these ones. And I actually haven't used these yet because when Amazon had a sale, gosh, I guess it's been like maybe 2 months now, on their, what are they called? Prismacolors. Amazon had a sale on Prismacolors about 2 months ago, and I picked up the 72 set, and I have been using that a lot. So if this answer of my most used coloring supply was based on only the last couple of months, like the last 2 months, it would have to be the Prismas. However, I haven't owned that 72 set long enough. Again, I only got it maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I haven't owned it long enough to make it my most used supply of the year, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be my most used supply for 2023. A little foreshadowing. So the next question is question 3. And what is your most colored in book of the year? So for me, it kind of goes hand in hand with question 4 is, did you finish any books in the year and which ones was it? So in the year of 2022, I finished this book. So it is the 50 Stylish Mandalas by Camelia Angelkova. It was also my most colored in book for the year. I did a little tally and I colored a total of 37 images in here in the year of 2022. So out of 50, I did most of it in 2022. Love this book. Love it to pieces. I did a full flip through of the completed book on my channel. And again, if you're new, if you're not, you would know this, is that I don't hold on to my colored books. Again, when I was in Germany, I was living in a tiny, tiny apartment. And then I was moving cross-continentally, was not about to relocate with colored books. But you'd be maybe saying like, hey, but it's in front of you. And that's because, again, I am an extra individual and I purchased it again. So I bought a new one and I did a page in it last month. So this was in my completed pages for December. Yeah, December 2022. Yeah, I already did a picture in here that I will not show you, but I did a picture in here already for January. It's just an amazing book. It's so fun. It's my favorite mandala book of all time, or at least out of the ones that I've owned. And I just love it. And I'm really happy to have it back in my life and my grubby little hands because I just love this book. It is, I think it's the last mandala book that she's released. Did she release a Valentine's Day one last year? I can't recall, but I think it's the last mandala book that she's released. But anyways, it's amazing. It's my most colored in book of 2022, and it's also the only book that I finished in 2022. So then question 5 is, what is your favorite coloring book purchase of the year of 2022? It does not have to be a book that was released in that year, but just one that you really enjoyed, like your favorite purchase. For me, it is this bad boy here. So I believe the English version is yet to be released on Amazon, or maybe it was recently released. I'm not fully sure. I purchased mine from a Swedish website. So this was like the initial release of the book, the initial version. It was supposed to be signed. So I bought it from that, like, again, initial set. It was a limited number and she was going to sign all of these books. However, it was also at that time that she found out about her health diagnosis and she publicly announced that she will not be signing the books, which is completely understandable. I still love this book to pieces, right? I was purchasing the book because I just wanted to have it. I wanted to have her artwork. And again, Hannah Carlson's books also are in a way a bit of a collector's item. So of course I was bummed, but at the same time, fully understand, fully love this book. So I believe the English title is like was it the something in the night sky, the city in the night sky, something along those lines. So this was my first ever Hannah Carlson book. I did 2 pages in it during the year. I did this one. This was the first one. I did it in April. Really enjoyed it. Did some gold pen up here. And then I also did another page that was a buddy color in June with A Cluttered Life here on YouTube. Her page is like moody and grays and like neutral colors. It's so cool. And she does really amazing things with water-based markers. So definitely check her out. I used just colored pencils, and I had found this color palette online, and I thought it was fun. And this book really kind of started my love and my, I don't want to say obsession, but with Hannah Carlson. So again, let's circle back to me being a tad extra. I purchased 3 other books by her this year because I loved that one so much. So now I also own Seasons, Tales from the Witch's Cottage, and Tales from the Forest Kingdom. These are quite new to me still, so I have not colored in any of them, which honestly I feel absolutely terrible saying. But now I have 4 of her books, and I want to own them all. Again, how many times can I say that, like, once I get onto like a train of thought or like fascination or adoration with a product or a coloring book, I feel like I just need to own them all. That's a completely separate topic. So then question 6, if you could recommend any coloring book that was released in 2022, what would it be? And of course, one of them is going to be this beauty here, which I will link down below because it is already on American Amazon. I just don't know if it's already been released or if you can just pre-order it. But in general, a lovely book. There's some mixed feelings about it from a lot of folks. I did do a full flip of it when it came out. Feel free to check that out to see, of course, all the images. But then also there's a lot of like commentary and discussions happening in the comment section about what people thought about it or their experiences with the book. So would highly recommend that. The other book that I wanted to highly recommend is 50 Diminutive Countryside Scenes by Camelia Angelkova. So I don't own too many items from Camelia Angelkova. And obviously I already talked about one of her books in this video, but aside from that book, I also own her 50 Christmas Miniatures that came out in 2021. And that's a great book and I enjoy it, but it's not something that I'm like, I don't know, rushing to repurchase, for example. So I always judge whether or not something is like a really big favorite, as if, let's say I was to lose it, would I go out like that day and repurchase it? And the answer is yes, for example, for like this book. If I was to spill my coffee on this today or whatever, I would immediately repurchase it. To me, that means that this is truly a favorite. This is another one of those books that if I was to dump my coffee on it, drop it somewhere else, whatever, I would repurchase it. And it truly surprised me how much I enjoyed this book. The pictures are, of course, adorable, which is quite standard with Camelia's work. You know, all her books are absolutely adorable. But every time I color in here, I just have such a wonderful time. So I did this one earlier in the year. I don't love this one, but I still had a lovely time. One that I do greatly enjoy and greatly appreciate is this one. It's just pencils. Let's see. So there's this one with some lovely yellowing. There's also this one. There is more. Oh, My friend did that one. Let's see. Oh, I did this one in October. And it's just such a great book. And there are some seasonal images. Like, to me, this is a fall page. They also have some Christmassy or like wintry pages in the back. And I just find myself reaching for this book over and over again, which to me is, again, a sign that this is truly a favorite. And since it's a Camelia Angelkova book, it's not expensive. It is very budget friendly, and I would highly recommend this book. So question 7, how many pages did you color in the year? So I did a little tally, and overall I colored 188 pages, which I want to say is less than I colored in 2021, which is also understandable. I was working full-time for a part of this year, or sorry, part of 2022, and I was wrapping up my master's. So completely, honestly expected and understandable. So on average, I did about 15.67 pages a month. So we can round it up, an average of 16 pages a month, which the last couple of months, like let's say September, October, November, December, really brought that average down. I think last month I did like 5 or 6 pages or something. So I've definitely been bringing the average down. And overall, I colored in roughly 8 books a month. Love that. I have so many coloring books that, you know, coloring in a lot of them is something that I am aiming to do instead of just always reaching for the exact same coloring book. So any coloring regrets from 2022? And of course, and I said this last year as well, is I feel like I didn't color enough, right? But life happens, circumstances happen. It is what it is. I wish I could color every single day. Unfortunately, I can't, right? But aside from that, I guess maybe another regret was really not trying many new techniques, for example, and just really being kind of in my own bubble when it comes to the things that I was coloring and not really venturing out of my comfort zone. So that really ties into question 9, which is my biggest goal for coloring for 2023. Of course, I want to color in many books, but I want to try out new techniques. I recently purchased some watercolors, so I want to try watercoloring, which I've never done in a coloring book. I'm so excited. I want to try out maybe pastels or what are those things people use in the background, like chalk kind of things. I also want to experiment with backgrounds. As I mentioned, I am terrible at backgrounds. I either leave them blank or I do the bare minimum. So, you know, experimenting with different mediums and improving my backgrounds, I think would be my biggest goals for 2023. So just really stepping out of my comfort zone in a nutshell. But that is it. Those are the 9 questions for the tag. Again, please feel free, or no, please consider yourself tagged. I would love to see your answers. If you do make a video, please like either tag me in it or, you know, comment my name in it or something like that so I can easily see them, because I would love to watch all of the videos. I watch all of like the mid-year freakout tags, love them. So again, please tag me in it. Anything and everything that I've mentioned, if I can find it online, I will link it down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.